show his scars, and say these wounds. Old men forget, yet all shall be forgotten. For he today who sheds his blood with me shall be my brother. Got a question for you. Who's got it better than us? Nobody!
Welcome to the Big House of CFB Nation. How are you? I'm Andy. We're back again with another episode. So let's get right into it. Donovan Edwards is on the cover, or part of the cover, of the NCAA Football 2025. Just another reminder of how great the past season was. And I think everyone is excited for the game to come out. I know I played it as a kid on the PlayStation platform. You know, when you're on defense, a big third down, you hit the L2 to pump up the home crowd. That's going to be coming back. Everything's going to be coming back. Donovan Edwards on the cover. Michigan fans should just continue to enjoy the season that was. You know, Donovan Edwards will forever be one of the athletes who made the cover of the game. You know, we left the game off with, Desmond Howard on it, and now we come back with Donovan Edwards. It's just meant to be, Michigan. Now, definitely by the deluxe edition, that one does have that nicer cover. We'll bring a little bit more, bells and whistles. So definitely get that one. We did see the leak of the regular cover where it's Travis Hunter, Quinn Ewers, and Donovan Edwards. Their faces are on the front cover of the regular game, and then in the deluxe edition, they're coming out onto the football field. Now let's get into the running back room split that I'm thinking that's going to happen this season, or what I would like to see happen. Now, this running back room, we have Donovan Edwards, Khalil Mullins, Benjamin Hall, Jordan Marshall, Micah Kaipana, and Cole Cabana. And then you also throw in Alex Orji into the mix as well. Now, this past season, the Wolverines ran the ball 563 times, and Blake Corum ran it 258 times. Next closest was Donovan Edwards at 119, and then the quarterbacks ran it 89 times. So we have 258 vacated carries left by Blake Corum. How I kind of expect the carries to be divided this year is going to be as follows. I think Donovan Edwards gets about 220 for the regular season. That comes out to about 18 carries a game. I think at 18, that is a very good number. He is someone that can take the load of the 18 carries. He's put on 13, 14 pounds. So I think he is ready for that. He is ready for his season. I think Mullins will then come in at 120 carries, or about 10 per game. I think Alex Orji, if he's the starter or if he comes off the bench and is more of that wildcat kind of a package, I think he gets about 100 carries throughout the year, and that equals to about 8 carries a game. I think Jordan Marshall, he makes the big jump. I think he becomes the third back, and he gets 70 carries. We're looking at about 6 carries roughly a game, but you'll probably get the majority of them in the non-con when they are up big and, leading them, and there's really just need to milk the clock. I think Benjamin Hall, I don't think he'll get much of an uptick. I think with him, I'm just not a big fan of that bowling ball kind of a runner. He'll probably get 30 carries probably throughout the entire season. That will probably come in, mop-up duty when the game's carried away. Kaipana, the true freshman coming in, he'll probably get 15. He probably won't get much. And then you'll have probably 12 to 15 rushes between the receivers. I think Samaj Morgan and Frederick Moore will get the bulk of those carries for the receivers on end around, sweeps, push passes, whatever the case is. Now, we did have some Micah Kaipana news. He is coming in this summer. There are reports that he's put on weight, which is very good because in high school, I believe he was around 170 pounds. So he's gained some weight, and reportedly he's gained some speed as well from all the tracking measures that they use for the offseason program. They are just waiting for him to enroll. He should get in this summer. He is already listed on the Michigan website at 5'11", 190 pounds. So he's put on about 20 pounds. In high school, I believe it was around 170. That was one of my biggest concerns when I looked at his tape this past winter when I was looking at him, is he's got some tools, but he just came in a little bit too light for me. So getting him up to 190 pounds with him not being asked to do much, I really do like that news. Now, I don't think he'll ever be a playmaker for the team. I don't think he'll ever be a full-time starter or a guy that makes a big impact. I think his calling card will be the guy that does all the little things like special teams, helps out when he's needed. He's one of those glue guys, and you always need that for a team, and that's just who he is when I look at his tape. Now, we do have some portal updates. There are some rumors that Michigan is looking to add depth at the following positions: at safety, offensive line, and defensive line. Now, I've been stressing the need for safety depth and to a lesser extent, offensive line depth. Now, what we do see is the Michigan NIL collective is not very strong. So, we saw this past couple of days, they were in on a Grand Valley State guy. He went to LSU. They were in on another guy that chose to go to Illinois. It's just the nature of the beast right now. Michigan doesn't have a strong collective. They don't have big boosters to kind of really help them. It's more of that name, that prestige that you're going to Michigan. That's what they're leaning on. That's what they're going with. And so I think we have to temper the expectations of the kind of athlete that they're going to bring in. It's more going to be the guys that come in, they're going to be a good fit for the program. They're going to be a helping the program big, keep building up and everything like that. I don't think you'll ever get that big splash. Just that NIL collective just isn't where it needs to be. Now, let's go into some Jordan Marshall talk here. And he is a very exciting true freshman that is going to be coming in this summer. He is 5'10". He is listed at 200 pounds. He's a 4-star in the composites. He is the consensus running back 4 of the class. Now, Marshall was my second ranked running back of this incoming freshman class. I really do like him. And this isn't just a Michigan talk. This is a college football talk. He has all the tools in the making to be the next big Michigan running back. So if you haven't watched his film, let me kind of give you a rundown on what kind of a player he is. He has great vision, great lateral movement, and quickness. He is a one-cut runner. He is very decisive. He's also an explosive runner. So I do like that combination. And what I also like is he has good contact balance. He isn't someone that if you touch him, he's going to go down. No, he's got good contact balance. He will shake off a defender. He will run over a defender if he has to. He does have power coming in at the 200 pounds. Now, he is also a natural in the receiving game. He has very soft hands. His hands will not fail him. He will catch outside of his frame. That is something that I really like about him and what he brings at this next level. He's also a home run hitter. He will find that hole and he will get right on through it. And then he has the speed to outrun the secondary. I really do like him. He does work to gain additional yards, so he can be a patient runner. He will pick his hole, work his way through, kind of get small through the first line of defense, and then he'll kind of get big and he will fight for those yards. He will get the 5, 6, 7 yards that you want to get. On a 3rd and 4, he's someone that will get 6 yards for you. Now, he is someone that will also run between the tackles just as likely as he will to bounce runs outside. He is truly a complete running back. And I would argue that he's one of the most complete running backs in the entire class. Now, the next thing that I'm going to be talking about is probably his attribute that will have him seeing playing time early, and that is his willingness to pass block and blow up a defender. And that is a trait that will endear him to the coaches, the offensive line, and his quarterback. I am excited for him to come on in. I do think he gets playing time. Now, what should we expect this upcoming season? I think ultimately he wins that RB3 role and he will eventually platoon with Mullins. With Mullins, he lacks the breakaway runs. He lacks the overall athletic traits. He was a converted linebacker that they moved to running back. He is a running back that if there's 2 yards of running space, he'll get you 4. If there's 6 yards available, he'll get you 4. If there's 4 yards available, he'll get you 4. That's all he really is. There's not much upside to him. He's kind of that gatekeeper for me. Like for me, if you're a really good running back, you should be able to out touch him, get more carries than him, and see a playing field. And I think at the end of the day, even though Jordan Marshall's a true freshman, he's not going to be coming in until summer. I think by maybe week 6, week 7, you'll start to see him getting carries as the second running back into the system. And then by the end of this season, I think people will be clamoring for more Jordan Marshall. I think he'll have some really good carries, really good run. I think he will be the lead back in 2025. Now, as kind of leave that for a little bit. And traditionally, I like to stay on Michigan football and just talk about Michigan. But in the news, as Gene Smith, the Ohio State AD, he says that the ass whooping that they received this past season should have an asterisk by it. The whole common family issue. Now, every team has a scout guy that goes to games and looks at future opponents. And if you don't believe that, then you likely also still believe in Santa Claus and the Tooth Fairy. Getting punched in the mouth and being out physical as a team has nothing to do with the alleged cheating scandals. Rolling out Kyle fucking McCord as your starting quarterback has nothing to do with any alleged cheating scandals. The Ohio State defense tapping out at the end of the game has nothing to do with the alleged cheating scandal. Buckeye fans, it's been 1,629 days since you've beaten Michigan, and it's going to continue to grow until we face you guys in November. Now, we've reached to the point where we are going to be talking about a throwback player of the day, and that is going to be running back Tyrone Wheatley. He was a Wolverine from 1991 to 1994, and I remember Saturday mornings watching him play as a kid. I lived out in California. It would be Saturday mornings, cartoons in the morning, cereal, and then Michigan football on ABC. Just watching him run up and down the football field, trucking guys over, juking guys out of their cleats. He's the reason I'm a Michigan Wolverines fan. Now, in 1991, as a true freshman, he appeared in 10 games. He had 86 carries, 548 yards, 9 touchdowns, 10 receptions. The very next year, he was given 185 carries, ran for 1,357 yards, 13 touchdowns, 13 receptions, 3 additional receiving touchdowns. And as a junior in 1993, 207 carries for 1,129 yards, 13 touchdowns again, and then he threw in 14 receptions. And as a senior in 1994, 210 carries, 1,144 yards, 12 touchdowns, 14 receptions again. At the NFL Combine, he came in at 6 foot, 232 pounds, and he ran a 4.5340 at that size. He was a physical specimen. Now, Tyrone Wheatley, he was the 17th pick in the 1995 NFL draft to the New York Giants. Now, he would go on to have a 10-year NFL career. He spent time with the Giants, with the Dolphins, and finally with the Oakland Raiders. Now, he would play in 124 games. He had 1,270 rushing attempts for 4,962 yards, 40 touchdowns, 125 receptions, and 7 receiving touchdowns. Now, he would also begin his coaching career in 2007 as he would be the running backs coach for 11 consecutive years. He spent time at Syracuse with the Buffalo Bills. He came home to his alma mater, Michigan Wolverines running back coach from 2015 to 2016. Went on to be the running backs coach at Jacksonville Jaguars. And then in 2019, he would be the head coach at Morgan State, and he would be there until 2021. where he came back to the NFL to be the Denver Broncos running back coach in 2022. Now, in 2023, he was named the head coach at Wayne State, and he is preparing for his second season as the head ball coach there. Now, growing up, people had Jerry Rice, Steve Young, Chris Carter, Jim Kelly, Dan Marino as their favorite player. For me, it was always Tyrone Wheatley. I figured with the slow week of Michigan news, we are in the heart of off season where nothing happens, and that's a good thing for Michigan. You don't want any news popping off. So I figured I would talk about my absolute favorite Wolverine, and for anyone who was a fan back in the early 90s, I hope that brought a smile to your face. Now, thank you for tuning in to another episode of Welcome to the Big House. A special thank you to Dwight Peoples for the intro, Nino Brown for producing, the entire CFB Nation family. And until next week, who's got better than CFB Nation?
Got a question for you. Who's got it better than us? No!